Hey guys and gals, thank you for tuning back in. It's been a long time since my last posting last year. I did that 30-day challenge that my wife gave me and then kind of just dropped off. The holidays came in, a lot of family stuff came up, and so now it's the new year and I figured I'd throw something out there for you. So this year, I don't know why, but I love 2020. I just love the sound of it, I love the flow of it, and so I wanted to do something different. A lot of times at the end of the last year, we like to plan for goals the new year. And I didn't want to do that this year because most times people plan goals, they get about 30 to 45 days in, that they go back to habitual patterns because certain things like their environment hasn't changed, their mindset hasn't changed. Something has occurred to where 45 days later, there are no goals done, maybe one or two, and then they quit and then they feel bad, right? And I kind of followed that. I would say, oh, I'm going to lose weight or I'm going to get in shape. I think it's like standard. We're going to have money, we're going to do this. Everybody, it kind of follows the same kind of categories, and so I didn't want to do that this year, and so I wanted to come up with something different that would maybe flow. So I want to share that with you. As I share it with you, if it resonates with you, by all means, copy it, follow it. I'm kind of putting something together here, and if you guys want to jump on board, that would be awesome. So for me, I really sat down and reflected, and I said, okay, what are my biggest 6 things that I do that have been hindering me these last decades or so, and can I change it up? And I don't know if you guys understand about archetypes, but a lot of times if we mention certain things, if we say a samurai, right? If I say samurai to somebody, a lot of times it will bring up an image in their head, maybe a warrior code. There's a lot of things that get chunked into just that one image, and so. For me, I wanted to come up with theme words that would help me accomplish the things that I might want to accomplish this year without getting too in the weeds of direct, specific, SMART goals, right? So I sat down and I came up with Warrior 2020. If you go to warrior2020.com, you will find nothing. It is a placeholder that I put there because I don't know how to do websites, so I'm going to have to learn. But it fits in with the themes. And so what I did is I did go so far as I created a t-shirt, right? So I'll show it to y'all, right? And so you can see it's 6 things. It says, start ugly, fuck failure, do shit, don't talk shit, follow your curiosity, honor your voice, and trust in your gifts, right? And so these are the 6 themes I wanted this year for me to accomplish. And like I said, if they resonate with you, I think they resonate with a lot of people, just stick them in your head. I wear the shirt to remind myself, write them down, etc. So I'll explain each of them so you guys kind of have an idea. So the first is start ugly. This actually comes from a podcast expo creator. His name is Chris, and he's going to kill me. It's Chris Kremitos. I'm sorry, Chris, if I butchered your last name. But if you look up Podcast Expo, he actually has created that, and he does a local podcast meetup. Very nice person, very awesome. And he wrote a book called Start Ugly. I have not read the book yet, Chris. Fair, but it's on my list. But I really liked Start Ugly. And it's because for me, I always wanted to have everything in order, whether it be getting in shape. And somebody says, okay, well, I need to buy the food, buy the containers, am I going to do paleo? Am I going to do keto? Am I going to do, right? You get it. There's it's a $1 billion industry. There's tons of them out there. Am I going to go to the right gym? What workout should I do? Should I do cardio? Should I do? But see, all these questions, and it was a point of going. It's almost to a point of non-movement, right? Of paralyzation. And I've been in the game of lifting weights for a long time, starting as a kid, just because it was something I really gravitated to. Well, there was a recent article or something where it was a kid, an actor that had been really heavy in his younger years, and now he looks like some Viking warrior, and people are like, oh my God, what an amazing transformation. What did he do? And what the whole Start Ugly thing is I looked at him, and he was doing basic bodybuilding exercises. He wasn't doing anything weird, new, out there. He was doing the basic stuff that people have been doing for ages, right? And it really dawned on me, because I was really into the physical fitness field for a while, that we get so caught up in, am I doing it right? Is it going to be perfect? Do I have all the correct stuff to do this? And I said, honestly, today, The reason why I'm in this right now is because after all that, I said, you know what? I'm going to grab my backpack. I'm going to put it on my back. I'm going to walk outside, and I took off walking. And while I was out walking, I was like, man, I came upon this little outdoorsy workout station, and they had a pull-up bar and they had a little dip thing, and I'm like, I have not been physically active for a long time, and there's a lot of reasons into it I'm not going to go into right now, but I picked up a lot of weight, and I used to be very, very physically fit, so much so I used to be like a trainer, like a coach. And so I went in there and I went to go do some push-ups. Could not do a push-up to save my life. So I got up and there was like a little lean-to, and I did some almost like wall push-ups, just like 10, and then they had a pull-up bar. I can't do a pull-up bar to save my life. I used to do a lot of them. So I grabbed hold, I jumped up, and then I held myself, couple called it good, right? I did more in that 20 minutes than I have in 5 hours of planning and working out and filling out the journals and doing all that. You understand? That's the difference. And so I put that out there. Start ugly. There's things to be said about, if you're going to do a business, yes, you want a business plan and you want to do all that stuff. But at the same time, I'm looking at people that go out and they just go for it. And they're learning as they go. And I think that's the magic in it, is that you have to start. You actually have to take action. Like I went out today, I put my backpack on. I went and did that. When I was doing those things, I realized, wow, my backpack doesn't fit correctly. I need to adjust that, or I need to do this, right? I know there's a lot of people that, especially if they're overweight, and I'm kind of focusing on that weight goal because that was mine, because I needed to become healthy. But there's people that won't go into the gym because they're overweight, or they're afraid, or they might look foolish because of how other people will see them. And I'm just telling you, start ugly. Screw those people. Go out there, and if you can only do one push-up, great. If you can't even do one, there's always something that you can do. But get out there, move, and just start. Just begin. Second, fuck failure. I'm saying this because for me, I was so afraid of failing that I wouldn't do anything. I planned. I think that is a way of getting around doing. And I see people now from different generations that won't even attempt something because they might fail. And that's how some of the greatest innovations, you see some of these people that are, and like, I know there's catastrophic failure, and I'm not talking about that, but because for the most of us, that's not going to occur. But when we talk about failure, there's people getting out there, starting businesses, and they're adjusting because they fail. And they learn from that failure, and they create something new, they create something better, they adjust their approach, and they go after it. But they won't know that because, one of the things when I was in the military, it says the best laid plans kind of go to shit once you meet the enemy on the battlefield, right? You want to have those plans. You want to have the correct way of trying to go after something, but once you're in it, once you're adjusting, you're also going to have to adjust on the fly and learn. So accept, and in essence, fuck failure. Accept that you might fail because you're trying something new. Learn from the failure. That's more than anything. Learn from the failure and do something with it. So that was the second. The third, do shit, don't talk shit. This is actually, I had a veteran life coach help me. His name is Justin Patton. You can check out his stuff. He's a big time speaker and everything else. And during one of our sessions, and I can't remember which one of us brought it up, but it was, we said something like about, it's easier to talk shit than do shit, right? It's easier to talk about what we're going to do than to do the thing. And one of the things my grandfather brought me up is he said to me one time, he goes, don't tell people what you're going to do, tell people what you did. Now, all I said, you don't want to go around and go, well, guess what I did, and guess what I did, and guess what I did. That makes you a blowhard, right? But at the same time, what he was saying is do those things. Get out and accomplish those things. Don't just talk shit, right? Because a lot of people do that. And so I encourage, and that's what I'm working on is, I'm not going to, I accomplished a lot when I was younger because I just went and did it, right? And then I remember one time talking to somebody, and by the time I was like 16 or 17, I had jumped out of an airplane, I had driven like a race car, a bunch of different stuff, and people go, oh, well, you've done a lot. And I was like, no, I never bragged about it, and I think that's the difference, but it's because I didn't go and announce I was going to go jump out of a plane. I went and jumped out of a plane, did it, and then I had that experience to be able to speak about it. And I think that's the thing. I've read a lot. I can tell you I've read close to several thousand personal development books. So I can talk from that because I've read all these books. I can see themes in them. I can see different things in them, and I can talk about it. And I realized the other day something that I thought was just common knowledge. I was talking to my wife, and she's like, "I've never heard of that." Oh, you've never heard of that? Because she doesn't read the same things I do, right? So do the thing, don't talk the thing, right? So then next, follow your curiosity, right? Follow your curiosity. For me, I was a very curious kid, and because I like to learn about new things, and I find that what is in our hearts, we look and see interest in. I can walk into a bookstore and I can watch people that walk in, and some will walk to this section, some will walk to this section. Certain things catch their eye, and certain things don't. And I realize, like, I go to a specific section. I usually hang around psychology, spirituality, personal development. That's pretty much my go-to. And if I see books or presentations, that's where I go. Other people have no interest. They'll go over to finances or love stories or whatever. You'll see people in different sections, and that's because that's our curiosity. I think that's what we find interest in, and I think for people to follow their curiosity opens up their world. And I think sometimes they don't feel like they should. And now, mind you, if your curiosity is something dark and sinister, yes, don't. I would highly not suggest that you follow your curiosity and see how that turns out personally. But you get what I'm saying. Is if you see something like that, just you go, wow, okay, I wonder more about that. Then go look, learn, and I think follow your curiosity is a big one. Honor your voice. This is very, very hard for me. Ever since I was young, I was really into personal development. I was really into psychology. I was really into writing. I wrote creative writing stuff, and I don't know, it might surprise some people. I was really heavily into the church when I was young, and I was almost talking about becoming like a pastor or something like that. Life experiences and journeys and adventures I've been on and people I've met have modified my version of how I see God, but I've always been into kind of that stuff. And when I was younger and I wrote about a lot of that stuff, I was seen as kind of weird because, people were talking football and I wanted to have deep conversations about the universe, right? So it's just, I think I didn't honor my voice, and that I grew up with that. I went in the military. The military is very alpha male a lot of times, wherever you're at. And so I would have those conversations, and again, if I wasn't talking to, smoking, joking, guns, fighting, and I wanted to sit down and have a conversation about how we age and how we see the universe when we age, I was kind of ostracized for that. My students seemed to like it when I was an instructor, but my coworkers thought I was just weird a lot of times, or annoying. But when I grew up into this and I wanted to speak, I realized that I kept saying to myself, like, who am I to write these things? Right? Yeah, other people write those things. Other people write these books. Other people are philosophers or doing that, but who am I to do that? Who am I to say such things about God or about spirituality or offering my perspective? And through multiple coaches and friends, they said, who are you not? You have to honor that voice, and I think we all have that. I think we have certain things that are uniquely us that maybe we're shy to show because we're afraid of being made fun of, or that it won't be received well. And then secretly we have these things. It's funny because I'm a total geek about Star Trek: The Next Generation. I don't know if you can see behind me, but I have all the little figurines. I'm a Trekkie, right? So, and I'll talk to some people like, but now geeks unite, right? So you have to embrace those things and honor your voice, honor the things that make you uniquely you, that you can contribute to this world. Because I honestly think, whether we want to go the scientific route and think it's genetics or DNA or whatever that gives us that, I think somewhere in between DNA and genetics is a soul that makes us uniquely us, and how we interact with the world, how we give that, and I think you need to honor that, and that's what I'm working on this year. And then last, trust in your gifts. That was the hardest thing for me. Is I don't really like putting myself out there. I mean, I do videos and stuff like that, or I help people, but I really don't like crowing, saying what I'm good at. It's very hard, I think, for some people. We're very good to say what we're not good at, but we're not very good at saying the things that we are good at. And so trusting in my gifts are going, I have people come and talk to me, and they'll go, you know what, I could talk to this friend or I could talk to this friend, but I really wanted to call and talk to Toby because I offer a different way of looking at things. I don't know what that is, and I've struggled for the years to try to put a label on it. I remember talking to a kid. There was an atheist and a Christian fighting in this coffee shop, two young people. And I sat down. The Christian guy it was a Christian coffee shop. The atheist guy, him and I sat down and we had this conversation for like an hour. And he looked at me and he goes, "That right there, whatever this is, you need to do more of that, dude." Right? And I was like, "Cool." And then I'll talk to other people and they go, "Yeah, just the way you see things, that right there." And I'm like, "What do you call that? Because I need a label, I need a title." And they go, "Well, I don't know." And so that's my thing this year, is just to go, you know what, I need to trust in those gifts. I need to trust in how I speak to people and how I do things. Sorry for the dog and the barking. I tried. But ultimately that's what it is. So if any of these things help you, by all means, please use them. If you want to comment down below or offer your experiences, I like to interact and talk. It's one of the things that is in my heart. I love to serve. And so if there's anything that I can offer in any way with these things and it helps you jump on board with me, great. When Warrior 2020 kicks up, I probably have t-shirts on there if you guys want them. I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm not trying to make anything off this. If you just want to rep with the shirt because it may help other people and they see it, great. If you want to check out Chris's stuff at Podcast Expo, do that. I don't get anything from it. I just like Chris. Justin Patton, if you want to look at his videos and stuff like that, he's a really good dude. Again, not getting anything from it. I just like Justin. So check those things out. Thank you for hanging with me for this long. I'll probably kick one video a week. I realized when I was doing the 30 days of content, while it was challenging, it wasn't like quality. It was, sometimes it was, but it was just trying to find things. And I really want to direct conversation. So again, themes for 2020, right? I'll throw them up there one more time for you. Start ugly, right? Sorry, let me get this. Throw them up there one more time. Start ugly, fuck failure, do shit, don't talk shit, follow your curiosity, honor your voice, trust in your gifts. Me to you, hope you're having a great 2020. If you're not, let's make it a great 2020. And thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you here in a week.